Genetic algorithms here are the adaptive heuristic search algorithms that belongs to a larger part of our evolutionary algorithms. Genetic algorithms are based on the ideas of a natural selection, as we have talked about, and the genetics. They are the intelligent exploration of a random searches provided with a historical data to the direct the searches into a region of a better performance in a solution space. They are commonly used to generate the high quality solutions for the optimization problems and the search problems. Simply what we are talking about here, the genetic algorithm simulates the process of a natural selection, which means those species that can adapt to changes in the environment, can survive and can reproduce and go to the next generation. In simple words, the simulate or the survival of a fittest among individual of a concentration generation to solve a problem. Each generation consists of a population of an individual, and each population represents a point in a search space and possible solution. And each individual is represented as a string of a characters, integer, float of bits, and this string is encoded to a chromosome. So here we are talking about the genetic algorithm. What do you understand by the genetic? This we need to talk about in context of a AI. So how can you define what you understand by the genetic learning in the AI? तो बता सकता है how can we define? With the help of this, we are saying that the genetic learning in AI involves using the algorithm inspired by the natural selection. What we are talking about, the natural selection. And the genetics to solve the problem, particularly in the machine learning and the optimization. These algorithms are known as a genetic algorithm, simulate the evolutionary processes like the mutation, crossover, and selection to the find better solutions iteratively. So the genetic algorithms are valuable for optimizing. What we are talking about, the optimization problems and the search problems. The genetic algorithms are valuable for optimizing neural network architectures, the hyperparameters, and the learning strategies, and for evolving the solution for the adaptive system and the autonomous agents. So when we are talking about the genetic algorithms, how it works in the population. Here we are talking about the genetic algorithm is to the process of a natural selection, which means those species that can adapt to the changes in their environment can survive and reproduce and go to the next generation. So here we are talking about the population, the fitness evaluation. Who can fit, right? In the population, we are talking about the potential solutions or the individuals. We have just talked about this. Individuals representing different possible solutions to the problem. Population is representing the different possible solutions to the problem. Then the fitness evaluation. What do you understand by the fitness evaluation for each individual or the different possible solution that is represented for the problem is the each individual fitness is evaluated based on how well it solves the problem. Different solutions are there. Which solution is basically giving the best explanation of solving the problem, how well it is solving the problem. Then we need to selection. In the AI system, we need to selection. In the algorithm, we are talking about the selection. Individuals with a higher fitness evaluation, higher fitness value are selected to be the parent for the next generation. Then we are talking about the cross-scope. Right here in the foundation of a genetic, we will also talk about this. Right? Fitness score, we will take these examples, but we need to understand what is the crossover. Crossover simply means the part of a solution are exchanging between the parents individual to create the offspring. Mutation, random changes or the mutations are introduced to the offspring genes, or simply as we are talking about the new data, adding diversity to the population, or in the population what we are talking about, the different solutions are present. We will add the different diversity, we will add the diversity to different solutions, then the iteration. So this is repeated for the multiple generations with the population gradually involved towards the better solutions. So when we are talking about the genetic learning algorithm, what are the foundations of a genetic learning? Genetic learning are based on an analog. We have talked about learning by analogy with the genetic structure and the behavior of a chromosomes of a population. For example, the foundation of a genetic algorithms based on this analogy, what the individuals in the population compete for the resources and the mate. Those individuals who are successfully fittest then made to create more offspring than others. Then the gene from the fittest parent propagate throughout the generation. That is, sometimes parent can create the offspring which is better than the either kind, and thus such successful generation is more suited for the environment. In terms of AI, we are talking about this. If we talk about the search space, the fittest score here, and the population is the different solutions here, which are present for the problem. So the search space is the population of individuals are maintained within a search space. Each individual represents a solution in a search space for a given problem. And each individual is coded as a finite length of a vector analogous to chromosome of a component. And these variables, components are analogous to genes. Thus, a chromosome is composed of several genes or the variable components. Then the fitness score will be decided. A fitness score is given to each individual, which shows the ability of an individual to compete. The individual having the optimal fitness score or near the optimal are sought, and the genetic algorithms maintain the population of an n individuals with the help of our solutions along with their fitness score, and the individuals having the better fitness scores are given more chance to reproduce than others, and the individuals with the better fitness scores are selected who mate and produce the better offsprings by combining the chromosome of a parents. So this is simply we are talking about in terms of getting the more solutions for a problem in terms of a Simply here we are talking about the operators here, operators of a genetic algorithm. Once the initial generation is created, here the two parents are there, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and the F, G, H, A, B, B, B. The matching will be done, the crossover operation will be done, and the offsprings will be D, C, D, A, and the F, G, H, A. So the selection, the idea is to give the present preference to the individual with a good fitness score and allow them to pass their genes to the successive generations. Crossover, this represents matching between the individual. Two individuals are selected using the selection operator, and the crossover sites are chosen randomly, and then the genes, those crossover sites are exchanged, thus creating a complete new individual or offspring. Here, the new string we are formed. For example, here we are taking the example, then the mutation is there. So before mutation is the F, G, H, B, C, D, E, K, and after mutation we are taking F, G, M, D, C, D, E, F. We are replacing H and A to the M and N. So the mutation operates, the key idea is to insert the random gene in our offsprings to maintain the diversity in the population to avoid the premature covered genes. So the whole algorithm here can be summarized: randomly initialize the population, determine the fitness of the population until the convergence should repeat, select the parent from the population, cross over and generate the new population, perform the mutation on a new population, calculate the fitness for the new population. So new population, when we are talking, we are simply talking about the new data in the knowledge base. Example problem and the solution here using a genetic algorithm using given a target string. The goal is to produce a target string starting from a random string of the same length. In following implementation, following algorithms are made. Character A to Z, capital A to Z, small a to Z, or 0 to 9. And other special symbols are considered as a gene here. A string generated by these characters is considered as a chromosome solution or an individual. When we are talking about a fitness score is the number of characters which differ from the characters in a target string at a particular index. So the individual having the lower fitness value is given more preference to be get solved. So here we are taking an example in a C++. We are just coding. So note what you need to know. Every time the algorithm starts with a random string, so output may differ when we are talking. So these time of our outputs we can be have from the genetic algorithm. So why to use a genetic algorithm? They are robust. They provide the optimization over the large space state. Unlike the traditional AI, they do not break on a slight changes input or presence of a noise. So what are the applications here? Recurrent genetic algorithms may have a many applications, including the recurrent neural networks. Some of them are mutation testing, code breaking, filtering, and the signal processing and learning the fuzzy rule base.